Hello, friends. I'm Ashish Tarbari, founder and CEO of Aximize, and this is July 2020, the week of Design Automation Conference. And today in house, we have Kiran Vittal, Senior Director, Product Marketing for Verification Products from Synopsys. And I'm going to be talking to Kiran, keen to know about what is hot with formal verification at Synopsys. So, hello, Kiran. Welcome in house. How are you?
Hey Ashish, I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting, and it's great to see you, and great to hear from you.
Yeah, I know these times, man, crazy times. So we have to only be connected virtually. But thank you very much for coming in, Kiran.
Oh, most welcome.
So, Kiran, let's start by asking you, why is Synopsys putting their finger in formal verification? Why can't you leave this alone for the other guys? You're selling enough simulators and emulators. Why don't you leave it alone for the small companies? Why do you have to sell formal verification? Why is your company interested in formal?
Good question, Ashish. So I mean, Synopsys offers the verification continuum platform. So we have a platform. We don't have a single product here and there. We offer the whole gamut of simulation, verification, and emulation products, and then along with that, we also have other products like the static verification products that we acquired from Atrenta, which is the Spyglass family.
Mm-hmm.
We're the leaders in debug. We have the Verdi product. So we believe that it's not a single product that will solve a problem. I mean, if you just offer a single formal verification product, that alone is not good enough. You need to have the best debug environment. That's exactly what we provide. I mean, we offer you the platform, and you start off maybe doing simulation, or even before simulation, you could run your lint checks and so on. To debug your simulation or your lint or your formal, you need the same debug environment. You don't want to be learning different tools, and that's where the platform comes in. And formal is a very key part of our verification continuum platform.
So I like your story around verification continuum. I think it's quite a nice way of presenting that you're kind of doing all of the verification technologies. But Synopsys took a long time to actually consider formal verification in all its seriousness. I know you guys had Magellan a long time ago, and then I think you were kind of not so much focused on formal for some years, and then you completely are now into it. And from what I understand, VC Formal, one of your flagship product lines for Formal, is now doing very well, isn't it? So that's quite useful to know. So what exactly are the kind of problems you're seeing your customers solving with your formal verification products?
That's an interesting observation. Yeah, actually, we are a little late to the market, but then I think we probably timed ourselves at the correct time because you need some evangelistic solutions out there in the beginning. It takes a while for you to cross the chasm. I mean, everybody talks about crossing the chasm and so on. So Synopsys actually had invested in formal technology way back. I mean, you probably have used yourself Hector technology, and then of course you talked about Magellan, and then of course there are many players in the market at that time. Like 10 years ago, there were many players in the market. Not all of them were successful. A few turned out to be successful, but then still they are products which are very hard to use, and not many verification engineers have adopted formal. Our goal was that we timed this at the right time because we developed this product VC Formal from scratch. We kind of looked at the market. We said, okay, what are the next generation challenges? How should we address the challenge as part of a complete offering that we offer as part of our verification continuum platform? And also look at somebody who is doing simulation today will have to use the same database to do formal and have a combined coverage report. So how does it take for us to provide value links between our simulation, our debug, emulation, static, and we also have other tools like Certitude where you can inject faults in your test benches and then sign off for formal. So I think the key thing is that we wanted to provide these value links. That's the terminology I would like to use. I mean, a product by itself is not good enough. It's the complete flow, because everybody has a methodology, a flow, a sign-off process, and we fit very well into that sign-off process. And formal is one of the key, I think.
So Kiran, I did a webinar with one of your colleagues a couple of days ago around RIS5 ISA compliance using formal verification and VC formal. And one thing that I keep noticing every time I talk to you guys is that you guys have a huge set of apps. So are apps the way you are actually solving customer problems? Can you tell us a little bit about some of the apps that you have?
And yeah, true. I mean, what we realized is that, the traditional formal experts are hard to come by, right? Mm-hmm. And then our goal is to take this to the masses. Mm-hmm. So we want to make formal verification. We want this to be adopted by the broad market. Mm-hmm. So how do you go and, get the broad market to adopt the solution? I think the best way is the apps. The apps concept is very good, because we categorize our apps into two categories. We call the first category is the productivity app. I mean, something that, if you're running, if you're writing test benches to do connectivity verification, mm-hmm. You can use formal to solve that problem very easily. You don't mm-hmm. have to write dedicated test benches mm-hmm. to do connectivity checking. Mm-hmm. Similarly, if you're doing unreachability analysis, we can just plug in this app in your simulation environment. So mm-hmm. if you're using VCS, you just mm-hmm. use an additional command, VCS-UNR.
I see.
You can do an unreachability analysis.
I see.
I see. So the productivity apps are important mm-hmm. to take it to the masses. And of course, we have the high value apps. If you really want to do property verification and sign off, you can use our property verification app. Or we also have this data path validation app, which is for data path validation, which uses Hector and so on.
So Kiran, how much of your focus do you see coming from customers is property checking, and how much of it is the apps, which is totally automation, push button stuff? And property checking, let's accept it, it's not push button. Somebody's got to write these properties. So do you have any insights on what you find in your interaction with customers, how the market is split between property checking and the non-property checking based formal verification?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I mean, what we've seen is the bleeding edge customers, right? People who have really invested in formal, of course, start off with property verification because they have dedicated engineers and experts to mm-hmm. do property verification, write system log assertions, mm-hmm. and so on. But then the new adopters are not necessarily experts. So they come to us and they say, okay, how can I quickly adopt your tool? And we offer very flexible offerings where we say, okay, the tool can be used for various different purposes. You can start off by doing connectivity checking. You can start off by doing register verification. So I see that the top 5 or 10 customers out there using formal are heavily focused on property verification. But all the other ones who are adopting this technology start off with connectivity or register verification or one of these high productivity apps.
Mm-hmm. I see. But you don't have
equals checking for clock gating. I think that's another key thing. Yeah.
But you don't have a precise number in your mind. So fair enough. Tell me, how are these solutions that you are offering differentiated from your competition?
I think, the only way to come from behind and beat the competition is differentiation and value, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we were late to the market, I would say, I agree, mm-hmm. But we're already number 2 now in the market. So
wow. Mm-hmm.
We have left behind most of the other guys, and then we are number 2. And what did it take us there? I mean, the last 3 years, we have grown like 3x in terms of revenue and in number of logos also.
I see.
So the strategy there was, the value links that I talked about. Mm-hmm. How do we make, new users of the technology to easily use the product? Of course, the second thing is innovation. I mean, if you're talking to, the market makers, people who are designing the next generation chips, they look at performance, they look at capacity, they look at all these latest technologies. So innovation is definitely the second point, I would say. And of course, we were the first ones to launch a machine learning based product out there in the market. I mean, although we came from behind, we were the first ones to launch it. I mean, more than almost 2 years ago, we launched our regression mode analysis where we leveraged machine learning, and that's doing very well.
I see.
The third point is, of course, the unique technologies that we have is in data path validation. Right? That's we call it the DPV, data path validation app. And thanks to the AI ML market out there. I mean, everybody who is doing an AI or ML chip, I mean, we have so many startups, like hundreds of startups. All those people don't have a solution out there except for our solution. And that's where we are seeing a lot of growth and adoption.
I see. And would it also be right to point to Certitude as one of your flagship products for coverage? I'm not sure where
That's
Certitude is these days because uh, I'm not using it regularly. But you can tell us how you think Certitude is actually placed in the market today.
Certitude actually is again a big differentiator for us. Nobody has the technology, and as you know, it started off where Certitude would help in validating your simulation test benches, and now with Formal, it's become a big differentiator for us for sign off.
I see.
So we have an app called Formal Test Bench Analyzer app,
I see.
where we leverage Certitude. We have integrated Certitude into our formal engines and so on.
Okay.
So we deliver, formal sign off through that.
Mhm.
We inject faults, make sure that
Yeah.
the faults are caught.
Yeah. I see. So you are offering differentiation in terms of offering cutting edge machine learning based regression analysis, fault injection based Certitude, floating point verification via Hector. So I can see that there is a very well defined, clear market for these differentiated solutions. And yet we are sitting here in 2020 where Formal hasn't become mainstream yet. So what are the biggest hurdles you are noticing for Formal adoption from Synopsys point of view? And how are they being overcome by you guys?
I think one of the biggest hurdle is this, that design managers or verification managers see or agree that Formal is important. I think it's a matter of getting their engineers to adopt Formal. So training comes in. Training is a big picture here, and people like you are really helping the ecosystem. I mean, we thank you for offering your consulting services or training services to our customers. Plus, of course, there are other consultants out there, who go and do some services, but then leave, and then the expertise is not transferred. Whereas our goal is, to educate our customers in such a way that they learn the technology as well as the methodology, so that they can use this across different designs. Right? I mean, that's our goal, and I think that hurdle has to be crossed, and that's where we are focused on. And we have something called an ACE program where we spend time with our customers to take them to certain levels, and then equip them to handle formal verification by themselves.
So when you are actually selling your products to like well-defined market leaders, let's say, and what are some of the concerns? So one of the things, for example, I've heard is that there is this general psychosis of fear. Formal is hard. Oh my God, who's going to learn it? Who's going to use it? Do you hear some of these things in the market? Do you feel this coming from your customers? What are they saying?
I mean, I personally haven't heard a customer saying Formal is hard.
I see.
The customer comes to me and say, I want to catch all my bugs. Right?
Okay.
Tell me, what do you have to offer?
Okay,
right?
this is interesting.
So
okay.
We want to make sure that when we sign off, there is no silicon respin.
So you're seeing more openness in the way. So you're lucky, I would say, because not just me in Aximize, but some of the other vendors I keep talking to, there is this still a doubt in the mind of the end customer about the value proposition. And I can see for the first timers, this is always going to be there. So what you're saying is the combination of your own activities together with partnerships, the combination of methodology, technology, that's how you see this happening. So this seems quite sensible, right, to me. Tell me, in terms of cost, so I've often heard this from a number of customers saying, actually quite a few saying, I would love to try out Formal. I would love to get training from Aximize, but Formal verification tools are expensive and it's a very costly investment. And therefore we can't even start using the tool, even though we could get the tool for free for training. So what are your thoughts on this, that it's a costly investment, and how you as an EDA vendor can do something about this to make it easier for companies tight on budget to adopt your tool?
So EDA companies, today are very flexible. I mean, Synopsys is very flexible. If a customer really wants to adopt a technology, and of course, we don't sell just formal, we sell a whole bunch of other products. So I'm sure they need a simulator like VCS or a debug tool like Verdi, and we offer very flexible, models, and we have different packages, different configurations, a lot of flexibility. And if a customer really wants to solve the problem, catch a bug, make sure that the silicon works, they have to use the best technology. But then along with that, of course, if they have budget or cost restraints, we have a lot of flexible options for them to, acquire the product.
So what should I tell some of my smaller customers? If they do simulation-based verification, they might be open to trying out formal. Let's say they wanted VC formal. How much money do you think they should have in their pockets before they can even try out VC formal? Let's be honest. I'm not telling you to give me a figure, but let's have some indication versus simulation. What would be an extra investment?
I don't know, if they're spending like 50,000 for simulation, they can pretty much get the similar value product for formal as well.
So, oh wow, okay, I didn't know that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is
and again, the flexibility. Okay. We have a lot of flexibility. We have something called starter kits and so on. So you can use either this product or that product. It's up to you when you want to draw down the license.
So I probably misunderstood something that you said. So what you're saying is, if there is a company who's using a simulation product, they've already made an investment, they want to move to formal, they could potentially reassign some of their costs into a formal product. So there's really no extra spending as such. They're just using the same pot of money to now try out formal. And if I'm not wrong, what you're saying is that depending on the use model and so on, you can amortize the costs of formal tools. It's not something that they're extremely high as compared to simulation. Because, mostly simulation is a commodity area, right? Simulators
That's correct. I think you should talk to Synopsys, account managers. They'll be happy to give you all our, flexible options.
I see. Okay, so this is very interesting. I certainly learned something new today about the way Synopsys can make it easier for people doing conventional simulation to move into formal. So listeners, if you're listening to us, cost is not an issue. And what Kiran is telling us is that Synopsys has packages and schemes which will allow you to get on with formal. So no more excuses about costs. Excellent. So Kiran, I would like to wrap up our chat for today. And thank you very much for coming up and sharing with us all your insights about how Synopsys is contributing to the formal verification ecosystem. And I'm sure our listeners would have captured a few of these essential differentiations and pricing options that you brought up. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Ashish. Before I leave, I just want to, again, since this podcast is all about DAC, I just want to highlight another key initiative. We are doing a virtual event which coincides with DAC.
I see.
DAC is virtual this year.
Yeah.
But we're also doing a VC formal special interest group in the Asia Pac region.
I see.
On July 21st. So okay. It starts at 9 a.m. India time, but anybody across the world can log into this virtual event.
Oh wow!
We have like 5 different customers presenting, and we have customers in India, customers in China. There's a keynote by Intel fellow who was the first fellow at Intel Bangalore. So we have lined up quite a few speakers who are using formal solutions. So please attend the VC Formal Special Interest Group virtual event.
Excellent. And so presumably we could go to your website and sign up for that, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Excellent. So this is great news, and another big formal verification event lined up for us in July. This is great. And so, yeah, let's stay in touch, and we'll stay connected. For all of you who enjoyed listening to this, let us know. Email us at info@aximize.com. And if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. Stay fit and stay connected.